do not disturb on, because God knows somebody gonna call me.
Christina, are you gonna do any intro on this, or do you want me to do my quick instructions?
You doing what?
Do you want me to do my instructions?
Yes,
The app?
please. Yes, yeah.
Are you gonna do any intro prep, or do you want me to do it?
They were in the box next to
Cool.
pizza for the chips.
Okay, so, actually, I think, I didn't know that, that the meditation we were gonna do was show up in that way, and so I think it's actually really, a good transition, with Alexis in particular talking about the necessity and the role that Fannie Lou Hamer played as a storyteller, right? And her story as someone whose story we uphold. And the practice of storytelling at the center of organizing, right? And so, you know, one of the things that we're trying to pull off here today, right, is take a set of folks who kind of have been thinking about organizing as a thing that they do in their life, and then a set of folks who don't always think about organizing as a thing that they think they're doing in their lives, and have a conversation about how we can be doing this thing together, and how actually most of the things that a lot of y'all who might not think you're organizers do every day are things that organizers do every day. And one of those things is really about telling stories in a way that both you know, articulate some kind of vision of the society that we want to be in, right? But also stories that connect to other people's experiences, right? Because what organizing is about building a big we, right? The biggest we that we can against the smallest them that we can possibly find. And so we can get, you know, I could stand here and be, you know, Christina can get up and say, you know, 1 out of 4 Wake County children this, and 50% that, and these numbers are compelling and interesting, but actually what really moves people is stories, right? That's the stuff that gets us. And the thing that we are trying to get people to do, like Alexis said in the meditation, is like, forget that capitalism exists for a day and try something I'm gonna take this off for a second. Is that okay with folks? I got my shots and I'm staying back over here. But you know, we're trying to get people to step into being a whole different way than they are in the world every day. And that's a really, really scary thing to do. And so one of the ways that we do that is by connecting to people in deeper places, right? And creating the space for us to connect in those deeper places. So in a second, I'm gonna ask Christina a couple of questions that are gonna lead her through telling a version of her story, right? But we're gonna do it twice. The reason we're gonna do it twice is because Christina's gotta practice, right? Because really, and I'm not trying to be glib about that, like as we're stepping into like being able to own your story is a leadership skill. And being able to tell 50 different versions of your story in a 30-second version, a 5-minute version, and a 20-minute version is a thing that leaders just need to be able to do. So we're gonna have her tell 2 different versions, literally the exact same questions, and she's gonna try to tell it in a similar way, both times, right? But the first time, what I want y'all to do is be listening just for like what moves you, what you feel connected to, right? What you wanna reflect on, right? And give some feedback on. And then the second time, we're gonna listen with a slightly different intention, okay? So the first time you're listening for like what you feel like connects with you, what moves you in the story, and we're gonna take some time to get a little bit of feedback on that, right? We are probably running this meeting in a little different time schedule than we were originally, but I think we can still do this for the way we wanted to do it. So we're gonna give this some space, but again, part of the thing is to learn to do this in a fairly like expeditious way. So I could ask Christina questions that would lead her to tell the story in 2 hours. That's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to get like maybe 10-minute versions of it, right? So I'm gonna keep looking at my clock a little bit, and I might, you know, encourage you a little bit, which is gonna be challenging because Christina's gonna be talking about some things that really mean a lot to her too. So again, as I'm doing that, I'm not trying to be the like insensitive dude that's not noticing that she's going through a thing, but I'm trying to help her like be able to get through that thing and own it in a way that she can still be in it and be also effective in the room, right? How you feeling?
Nervous. Why am I nervous in front of my people? I know why.
Why are you nervous in front of your people? Let's start with that question.
I am still working through how I got to this moment for myself. Like I'm proud of myself, but I knew it took a lot of shit to get here.
Yep.
And I'm excited to share that with my people. So permission to be inarticulate and a little emotional.
Yeah.
Because this means a lot.
Yeah. And again, we wanna get Christina to a place
Where
where
this
she,
doesn't
where
happen.
she can tell this, no, where she can still be in the emotion of it, but not be like controlled by that, right? Cause we don't want her to get to a place where that she can tell this story and then just not be impacted by it at all. That's not the story we wanna tell, right?
Right.
So we're shooting for like, we're gonna be on the looser end right now, and this is practice with the homies, like people who love her, yeah?
Yeah,
Y'all got her back?
Oh,
Yeah? Okay.
yeah,
Okay. And then we're gonna get better at it. Yeah?
I feel good, these
Cool.
are good years, yeah.
So why public schools? Why is that the place to start?
Because public schools saved my life, literally. I think back to kindergarten. I was so looking forward to the first day of kindergarten. My mom got me ready for big school by going shopping and new shoes and a book bag, and you're gonna make friends, and these are the great things that happen
Remember
at
your
our
shoes?
public schools. Oh, they were light up. I'm pretty sure they were Power Rangers, cause I was into Power Rangers back then. So I was super stoked for the first day of kindergarten, but the public school bus didn't show up for me on the first day of school, and right, Sarah, my world felt like it was over. But Miss Cindy Brown Price, the school counselor at West Jefferson Elementary School, came to pick me up in her personal vehicle. It was a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, I'll never forget it. And I thought, oh my God, a counselor will literally come and save my world, and I haven't even stepped foot inside the building, right? And I think about instances like that all throughout, particularly elementary and middle school for me. In third grade, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer for the first time, and again, I thought my world was over. All I could think about was, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mom. But I had Miss Taylor in third grade, and she knew I was a reader, so she bought me books about what it meant to have a parent with cancer, or what it meant to be a kid in hospitals, right? My mom was diagnosed in October, and Miss Taylor knew everything that was going on, and she cast me as the lead in our Thanksgiving play. So I was after school every day at school with Miss Taylor while Mom was, doing her treatments and things like that. So that year, Miss Taylor saved my life, and then my 8th grade teachers again saved my life when my house burned down, and then 2 weeks later, my dad died. And in your life, there are like before and after moments. April of 2005 was like that moment, and I didn't think I was gonna live. I grew up in rural Appalachia, the only black girl in, my town, really, my family. So I think about what would have happened if Miss Driver hadn't been driving me back and forth to school, or Miss Johnson didn't take me to Rose's to get a whole new wardrobe, because I didn't have a wardrobe, right? So, yeah, public school saved my life,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
And is that why you to work in schools?
I think upon reflection, yes, but in the process and the moment in my life, no. And I say that because that after my dad died moment, Christina was wild, y'all. I was drinking and partying and stealing cars and having sex with boys and doing all the super dangerous things that could potentially end my life, right? But I was still maintaining 4.69 GPA, I was still in the beta club, right? Being a good student, right? But I felt like I didn't have a destination. I went to college and thought I wanted to be a physical therapist, and I thought I wanted to be a psychologist. But then I think public school saved me again in college when I was in Durham as a Playworks coach, and just having hella fun with kids, and Title I schools in Durham, just playing, right? And then a teacher, not at a public school, but at Meredith Private School, said, why don't you go into public schools? You've been a Playworks coach, you've told all these stories about public schools, why don't you go into public schools? So I did. I visited a public school after I graduated, applied for my program that same summer, and I've been teaching ever since, as soon as I made that full circle connection after graduating, yeah.
And how does the union happen?
How does the union happen? The union happened because Dr. Parker, favorite black woman professor, said you have to be a member of the union. You check the box, that's what you do in this program. And that was kind of it. I just knew I was a union member. But the union happened for sure that first May Day in 2018. I'd been tangentially involved with organizing that event, but really just checking folks in, you know, making sure folks had name tags and things like that. And like I said earlier, I saw Organized 2020 out in the yellow shirts. I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they getting people's cards? Why does this tall white dude have a bullhorn and everybody's following him around, right? And I think it was Kristen or someone asked for my number, and then I got on the text messages from Organized 2020. And Kristen and I started talking a lot that fall. I was invited to an organizing meeting with Organized 2020, and I remember going into that small co-working space in Durham that fall of 2018 and like feeling at home, almost like I do in this space. Like I remember walking in and just like knowing all the people and feeling like I want to work with these people, and also because the work we were doing in that room was rooted in racial and social justice. So at the same time that that was happening, I'd also just transitioned to OEA because I was getting real frustrated in the classroom. I was getting called a troublemaker by my administrators. My kids were getting called the N-word, right? Then May Day happened at the same time as that transition. Kristen was asking me into leadership in the caucus and in the local union. And I said the union's the spot where racial and social justice work happens through how we organize public schools. Yeah.
Does everybody think that about the union?
No, not everyone thinks that about the union.
So why is what you're doing right now?
Because I know that about the union, that labor organizing and organizing workers is justice work, right? Like our working conditions matter. Like I played that Fannie Lou Hamer chorus like on purpose, right? Like I've been thinking a lot about how Fannie Lou and Fred Hampton and Dr. King and Shirley Chisholm, you know, they were organizing their people. They were sitting in rooms like this for hours, figuring out how to improve their own working conditions, the working conditions of their friends and colleagues, you know, and the people they work with. And I think I want to do that. And in the last 4 years working in OEA, like with Elliot and Aubrey organizing equity teams, that's what we do here in the union is leadership ID. We dream about what we want the world to be like together, and those two things align beautifully. So that's why I'm here, and that's kind of my vision for this union for sure.
Why are you the person that can get us there?
That's a great question, because I have people around me,
Why do you have people around you?
because I'm a leader. Because I know I have the skills and expertise to do this, because I've had people around me who have coached me, who have challenged me, who have dreamed with me. And I know that together, because I like to create space with people, I like to co-create space with people, for people, and I think the union can do that. And I want to make decisions with folks in the room when we create space together to improve our working conditions. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna stop right there for right now.
Oh. Ooh.
Look around. This is your crew.
I know, it feels good, like these are happy tears. Can I say, am I allowed to say it?